Is Jennifer Hudson's man really breaking down in tears? For weeks, whispers have been spreading about shocking cheating rumors that could turn her picture-perfect romance upside down. Fans are asking, did the powerhouse singer finally get blindsided? Or is the truth far more complicated than anyone expected? Jennifer Hudson has never exactly lived a quiet life in the spotlight. From the moment she stunned the world on American Idol back in 2004, her powerful voice and undeniable presence made it clear she wasn't just another contestant. She was destined for greatness. But with that fame came public scrutiny, and Hudson's personal life has often been just as talked about as her music and acting career. One of the biggest chapters in her personal story was her longtime relationship with professional wrestler and lawyer David Otunga. The two became engaged in 2008, and for nearly a decade, fans assumed they'd eventually walk down the aisle. But in 2017, the fairy tale ended in a very public split. According to reports from E! Online and Drama Wired, their separation wasn't just a quiet breakup, it was messy. Custody of their son became the center of a highly emotional legal battle, and allegations surfaced that cast a long shadow over Hudson's private world. While some accusations were later dismissed or never proven, the headlines painted a picture of chaos and mistrust, and the media frenzy surrounding the split left a mark that Hudson has carried with her ever since. For many fans, that moment showed a side of Jennifer Hudson they weren't used to seeing. Not just the confident superstar on stage, but a woman grappling with heartbreak, legal drama, and rumors she didn't ask for. And while she kept much of her personal pain private, those who followed the story closely on platforms like Reddit saw countless discussions speculating about what really happened behind the scenes. People debated whether Otunga's accusations had any merit, and others pointed to Hudson's quiet strength as proof she was determined not to let scandal define her. But even after the dust settled, Hudson's love life remained a topic of conversation. By 2022, years after the Otunga split, fans were asking the same question over and over. Had Jennifer finally found someone new? And if so, who was he? That's when a surprising name started to surface. Rapper, actor, and activist Common. The two first crossed paths while working on the upcoming thriller Breathe, and almost immediately, whispers began. At first, it seemed harmless enough. Two respected stars collaborating on a film project. But as weeks passed, the energy between them became harder to ignore. Paparazzi cameras caught subtle glances, casual smiles, and the kind of chemistry that fans and gossip blogs love to dissect. And soon, speculation was running wild. Were Jennifer Hudson and Common just co-stars? Or was something deeper happening when the cameras weren't rolling? And that was only the beginning. If the film set of Breathe sparked curiosity, what happened next poured gasoline on the fire. By early 2023, rumors weren't just whispers anymore. They were headlines. Jennifer Hudson and Common started appearing together in public. And these weren't the kinds of casual sightings that could be brushed off as coincidence. One of the first major sparks came when the pair were spotted at Nobu in Malibu, a high-profile restaurant known as a hotspot for celebrity meetups and discreet Hollywood dinners. According to Entertainment Tonight, they weren't just sitting across from each other discussing scripts. They looked comfortable, engaged, and more than a little cozy. A photo circulated showing them laughing over dinner, and while neither confirmed a romantic connection, fans online immediately began connecting the dots. From there, the sightings only multiplied. Social media threads on Reddit and coverage from outlets like BET reported that the two were seen together in Philadelphia, where Hudson was filming, and later in Chicago, both of their hometowns. The Chicago connection, especially, gave fans plenty to talk about. Two icons from the Windy City, both successful, both single, both with reputations for keeping their personal lives private. To many, it felt like a natural match. Then came New York. Paparazzi lenses caught them strolling together, appearing relaxed and, according to eyewitnesses, holding hands. That detail changed everything. Holding hands wasn't something that could be explained away as just friends. Online conversations exploded, with commenters saying things like, "You don't hold hands in public unless you want people to notice," and "This feels like a soft launch of their relationship." The media frenzy was impossible to ignore. Each new sighting added fuel to the fire, and the tone of the coverage began to shift. What had started as speculation about two co-stars became a narrative about a blossoming romance. Outlets like Entertainment Tonight even suggested that the pair were taking their relationship public, while BET reported that sources close to the stars described them as very happy together. Still, neither Hudson nor Common confirmed anything outright. That silence only made the rumors louder. For fans, the mystery was irresistible. Were they really together, or was the public just seeing what it wanted to see? And if they were a couple, why weren't they ready to say so? But just when the buzz seemed to reach its peak, Jennifer Hudson herself was asked to address the speculation, and her response would leave fans with even more questions than answers. By this point, the rumors had spread far beyond gossip blogs. Major outlets were running stories daily, and fans on social media dissected every photo, every glance, every subtle clue. So when Jennifer Hudson was finally cornered with questions about her rumored romance with Common, the world waited to see how she would respond. Her first comments came during a quick encounter with TMZ, where a reporter asked her directly about the dating buzz. Hudson didn't dodge the question, but she didn't exactly give a straight answer either. With a calm smile, she replied, "Rumors say a lot, but he's a beautiful man." That single line sent shockwaves through her fan base. On one hand, she hadn't confirmed anything, but on the other, she just admitted her admiration for him in a very public way. Shortly after, People.com pressed her for more details, and again, Hudson chose her words carefully. Rather than outright deny the rumors, she leaned into them just enough to keep curiosity alive. "I'm very happy," she said, making sure to emphasize the phrase. But when asked if that happiness came from Common, she laughed and gave no names. The ambiguity was deliberate, and fans knew it. Over on BET, her comments were analyzed and replayed endlessly. The outlet noted how Hudson hinted at something more than just being booed up, suggesting that her connection was serious, not just a fling. Yet even in that moment, she stopped short of revealing who exactly had her smiling. The careful balancing act was classic Jennifer Hudson, open enough to show she wasn't hiding, yet private enough to protect her personal life from total public consumption. This approach only fueled speculation online. On Reddit, discussion threads exploded with theories. Some insisted that her refusal to name names was confirmation in itself. After all, if there was nothing to the rumor, why not just say so? Others argued that Hudson had every right to keep her private life under wraps, pointing out that she'd been burned before by making her relationships too public. Fans also noted the confidence in her tone. Hudson wasn't defensive, nor did she seem uncomfortable. Instead, she looked like a woman who knew she had something worth protecting. That, in many ways, told the audience more than any direct confirmation ever could. Her words left the public in suspense, and the media spun it as both a denial and a confirmation. Headlines read things like, "Jennifer Hudson hints at love, but keeps fans guessing," and "Hudson won't say the name, but we all know who she means." The takeaway was clear. Something was going on, and Hudson wasn't ready to lay all her cards on the table. But if Jennifer was playing coy, Common was about to give the world even more reasons to talk. For months, Jennifer Hudson had masterfully dodged questions, giving fans just enough to keep the rumors alive without ever confirming them. But in 2024, the suspense finally reached a breaking point when Common himself stepped into the spotlight and, intentionally or not, fanned the flames higher than ever. It happened during an episode of The Jennifer Hudson Show. The audience was buzzing even before the cameras started rolling. Knowing that Common had been booked as a guest, for weeks whispers had swirled online. Would this be the moment the two finally addressed their relationship, or would they once again dance around the subject, leaving everyone guessing? As the interview unfolded, Common was his usual charismatic self, laid back, smooth, and thoughtful. But when the topic of love and partnership came up, he dropped a line that sent shockwaves across social media. With a smile, he said, "I'm with one of the most beautiful people I've ever met. And you know, she's an EGOT." The audience erupted. Gasps, applause, even a few screams filled the studio. For anyone keeping score, there was no need for Common to say a name. Jennifer Hudson had achieved EGOT status in 2022, winning an Emmy, a Grammy, an Oscar, and a Tony. And she was one of the few people alive who could fit that description. The implication was crystal clear. Jennifer herself couldn't hide her reaction. She laughed, blushed, and playfully waved off the comment. But her smile said it all. She didn't deny it. She didn't deflect. She simply basked in the moment. And fans watching knew they had just witnessed the closest thing yet to a public confirmation. Clips of the moment spread like wildfire. Bet ran with the headline, Common praises his mystery love. Fans say it's clearly Jennifer Hudson. On Reddit, users dissected the exchange frame by frame, pointing out Jennifer's body language and the way Common's eyes lit up when he spoke. People.com called it the most direct acknowledgement yet of their rumored relationship. What made the moment even more striking was how indirect it was. Common never actually said her name, and technically, there was still plausible deniability. But no one watching was fooled. The combination of the EGOT reference and Jennifer's unmistakable reaction made it clear to fans this wasn't just a rumor anymore. Something real was happening. Still, the way the revelation came, half teasing, half confirming, left room for even more speculation. Was Common being playful, or was he finally tired of keeping things secret? And why were both of them still so careful about not saying it outright? The mystery only deepened, and as the interview ended, viewers were left with one burning question. If they were finally ready to step into the public eye together, what was holding them back from making it official? And soon after, rumors about what might have been happening behind closed doors would send the story in an even darker direction. For all the smiles, teasing comments, and public appearances, one thing remained constant. Neither Jennifer Hudson nor Common ever officially confirmed their relationship. And that silence left a wide opening for speculation, especially in the wild world of online gossip. It's important to note that despite the dramatic headlines, no credible cheating accusations have ever surfaced between Hudson and Common. Still, that didn't stop the rumor mill from working overtime. Fans pointed out that in Hollywood, where paparazzi and leaks are everywhere, secrecy often leads to whispers. And when two high-profile stars are involved, every look, every Instagram post, every absence is analyzed as though it were evidence in a case. Some of the speculation even circled back to Hudson's past. Longtime followers remembered the controversies during her breakup with David Otunga. At the time, whispers floated around about Hudson's friendship with gospel singer Mally Music, with tabloids suggesting there might have been more than friendship there. Hudson firmly denied those claims, and no proof ever surfaced. But the rumors left a lingering cloud. Otunga himself reportedly hinted at infidelity during their split, though those accusations were never substantiated. To this day, some fans in Reddit threads bring up the Mally Music controversy as part of a bigger narrative that Hudson's love life has always been more complicated than it appears. Meanwhile, attention turned to Common's history as well. The rapper has long been admired for his artistry and activism, but his dating life has been a hot topic for years. From Erykah Badu to Serena Williams to Tiffany Haddish, Common's relationships have often made headlines, and according to some online commentators, he has a reputation for not always settling down long-term. In discussion threads, fans speculated that Hudson might be wary of his past patterns, while others suggested that Common's history didn't necessarily define the man he is today. This mix of old controversies and current silence created a perfect storm for speculation. On Reddit, one popular thread read, "I love J-Hud, but I don't trust Common. He's charming, but does he ever really commit?" Another user fired back, "She deserves happiness. Maybe he's changed. They look so good together." Even mainstream outlets like BET and People.com noted the tension between the public's desire for a fairy tale romance and the skepticism fueled by past drama. Headlines framed the relationship as both inspiring and uncertain, highlighting how fans couldn't quite decide whether to root for the couple or brace for heartbreak. Through it all, Hudson and Common remained silent on the cheating rumors because in reality, none had ever been confirmed. But the very fact that they hadn't offered a definitive public statement only added to the mystery. Were they protecting their happiness by keeping it private, or was there more happening behind the scenes than anyone realized? And just when it seemed like speculation had peaked, one unexpected development would throw the conversation into overdrive. By late 2023 and into early 2024, the whispers had reached a fever pitch. Fans wanted answers. Was Jennifer Hudson truly off the market, and was Common the man who had captured her heart? Finally, Hudson gave the public a clue they'd been waiting for. In a candid interview, she admitted she did in fact have a boyfriend. The revelation came quietly, without a red carpet announcement or flashy magazine cover. Outlets like Atlanta Black Star quickly picked up the story, and discussion boards on Reddit lit up overnight. Though she never uttered his name, the implication was obvious. After all, Common had already dropped hints on her own talk show, and the pair had been spotted together in cities across the country. To many, Hudson's subtle admission was the missing puzzle piece, but even in confirming she was seeing someone, Hudson remained careful. There was no gushing confession, no Instagram couple selfies, no joint interviews. Instead, she kept her tone calm, almost understated. "I'm very happy," she repeated, echoing her earlier comments. It was a confirmation without being a full reveal, leaving just enough room for interpretation. For fans, this was both exciting and frustrating. On one hand, it seemed clear that she and Common were indeed a couple. On the other, the lack of direct acknowledgement fueled theories that perhaps things weren't as smooth as they looked from the outside. Why else would she keep things so private if she truly had nothing to hide? Interestingly, there were no dramatic reports of a breakup, no paparazzi photos of tearful arguments, no insider leaks about cheating, no explosive accusations in the press. Despite the speculation, neither Hudson nor Common was tied to any verified scandal. In fact, both seemed to go about their lives, focusing on work and family while quietly nurturing whatever bond they shared. On Reddit, opinions remained split. Some users praised Hudson for keeping her private life private, calling it the healthiest move a celebrity can make. Others argued that the secrecy only made the relationship more suspicious, with one commenter writing, "Celebs only hide when they've got something messy going on." Meanwhile, outlets like Atlanta Black Star highlighted how rare it was for two stars of their caliber to maintain such a low-key romance in the social media age. The fact that no solid evidence of trouble had surfaced was, in itself, remarkable. Still, for all the calm on the surface, fans couldn't help but wonder, was there more happening behind the scenes than either star was willing to admit? And when the phrase "Common in tears" began trending online, people rushed to find out if the speculation had finally come true. At its core, the Jennifer Hudson and Common story isn't just about romance, it's about mystery. In an era when most celebrities broadcast every detail of their personal lives on Instagram, TikTok, and live streams, Hudson stands out for what she doesn't say. That silence is powerful. It leaves fans hungry, forcing them to fill in the blanks themselves. And that curiosity is exactly why this story refuses to fade. For Hudson, the allure comes from her reputation as a strong, private figure. She's never been the type to chase headlines with her personal life. Instead, her career has spoken for itself. Her powerhouse voice, her acting accolades, her historic EGOT status. So when she offers only cryptic smiles and careful words about her love life, people can't help but wonder what she's protecting. Her past plays a major role in that intrigue. Fans haven't forgotten the painful breakup with David Otunga, her fiancé of nearly a decade. The split in 2017 was messy, marked by a bitter custody battle over their son and allegations that splashed across tabloids. While Hudson emerged from that storm with dignity, the scars of that period made her even more guarded. Viewers know she's been hurt before, and that history naturally raises questions. Can she trust again? Could betrayal happen again? And then there's Common. Beloved as an artist and admired for his activism, he also carries a reputation that adds just enough uncertainty to keep the rumor mill running. His dating history reads like a list of Hollywood's most talented women: Erykah Badu, Taraji P. Henson, Serena Williams, and Tiffany Haddish, among others. But the pattern that fans point to again and again is this: Common often keeps things passionate and high-profile, only for the relationships to quietly end. To some, this makes him seem like a hopeless romantic. To others, it sparks doubt about whether he's capable of true long-term commitment. This mix, Hudson's carefully controlled privacy and Common's past reputation, creates the perfect storm for speculation. Every smile on her talk show, every public outing, every vague comment becomes a clue for fans eager to solve a mystery that neither star is willing to fully explain. And that mystery is exactly what keeps people clicking. It's not just about whether they're together. It's about whether love, trust, and happiness are truly possible for two people with such high-stakes pasts. The unanswered questions linger in every headline. Is Hudson finally safe in love? Or is history bound to repeat itself? But just when the narrative seemed locked into quiet speculation, the internet caught fire with one phrase: Common in tears. The buzz was instant, and fans braced themselves for the possibility of a shocking twist. So where does that leave us? After years of whispers, sightings, and carefully chosen words, the story of Jennifer Hudson and Common remains as intriguing as ever. The public has been given intimate glimpses, the Nobu dinners, the playful smiles on her talk show, and Common's not-so-subtle EGOT reference. Both parties have indirectly hinted at a connection strong enough to keep the world guessing. And yet, through all the speculation, one fact remains crystal clear: no confirmed cheating, no dramatic betrayals, and no tear-jerking split has ever been made public. For all the viral chatter, the narrative of Common in tears appears to be more about curiosity than confirmed scandal. Still, the questions won't go away. Hudson's guarded approach and Common's complicated history keep the conversation alive. Fans continue to debate whether this is the love story of two people finally finding peace, or just another Hollywood romance destined to fade quietly away. At the end of the day, only Jennifer Hudson and Common know the full truth of their relationship. But as long as they keep the world guessing, the fascination will only grow. So now I'll leave it to you. Do you believe this is the start of something lasting? Or are there cracks beneath the surface waiting to be exposed? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I'm curious to hear what you think.